By the way, Paul, it sounds like ProtectSeniors.org, and I'm not trying to give a pitch for the organization, but it sounds like you're doing more than the elected officials.
Well, we believe so. I mean, we have some ideas, and again, there are other groups out there that have their own ideas. Why not bring all these groups into and sit them at the table and say, how can we save the American taxpayer money? Okay, here's an idea. This will save us X amount of money. Good idea. We can implement it. It makes sense. Or no, this isn't a good idea. This is Y and X, Y, and Z. We have a solution that no one has said is a bad idea other than that, well, this will take money out of top managers and CEOs' pockets. And to us, that's not a good argument.
Yeah,
Ask
really.
the taxpayers.
Yeah,
do you want to? Everybody has an elderly grandmother, parents, or relatives. Ask the young people today. Do you want your parents or your grandmother or your elderly neighbors or relatives to have to come back and move in and live with you because they can't afford health care?
As a lobbyist, are you able to actually stand in front of Congress and say things like that?
We have been more vocal and more blunt than we have in the past.
Yeah.
We are tired of the excuses. We're tired of getting notes back from members of Congress that say, we have looked at your legislation. We don't sit on the right committee, but we will take your thoughts into consideration should this bill ever make it to the floor. That's a cop-out.
Yeah, really.
You either support us or you don't. And there's a way to do that.
Good for you. Wow, Paul. Are you running for anything? We need to vote for you.
No. I'm enjoying working with this group. I have never met a more dedicated group of individuals, which is an all-volunteer organization. And you know what? Retirees, they're going to make a difference. You look at 2006 or 2008 and 2010 election results. Retirees swung the votes both ways for Republicans and Democrats in both those elections.
Paul,
we're going to do it again in 2012.
Let me just reintroduce you for the listeners just tuning in. Paul Miller is our guest, and there's a website that'll help you out with all of this. It's ProtectSeniors.org. That's the organization Paul is representing today on the air, talking to us about some of the things that seniors have to go through, especially if their former business, the company that they worked for, is reneging on the promises made to them in contract form regarding their health care in the later years of their life. Do you know what I'm wondering, though, is if these same kind of contracts are being made anymore at all?
No, again, we're talking about a smaller window of people. Today's employees aren't getting that same type of deal. They're getting health care in most cases of some kind. They may more likely have to pay more today than they did 20, 30, 40 years ago, but they're not getting that same type of contractual promise and guarantee that a lot of our folks did.
Yeah, and a lot of the folks, a lot of them were not lured, I can't think of a better word, so for the sake of lack of a better word, the word lured into the jobs that they took after the Second World War because they needed the workers, and so there was a lot of competition at the time.
Yeah.
So they would give these little packages, or these not little, they were good packages actually.
And we have a different generation back then. Folks that they looked at all the benefits that they were being offered as part of their contract, and saying looking towards retirement. Today, I think this generation of young folks isn't really looking at that. And
do we have any culprits? How are those retired from the military? Are they being treated fairly?
Well, I think everybody. I mean, if you look at local and city and county governments, they're running into the same problem with retiree health care. They're saying, well, we can't afford to do this anymore. And even our own Veterans Administration, we're having a challenge trying to, with all these folks coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq, trying to provide them with the medical needs that they need. But I will say, those folks deserve it. They serve their country, and a lot of them died for it.
Right.
A lot of them lost limbs for it and really came back in bad shape. We need to take care of those folks, but we also need to take care of retirees who made these companies in this country great as well.
That's right.
So we need to put our priorities back to where it was in the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
So, or like for example, here down the hall is the United Auto Workers Union, or at least the local office, right? How are they doing? I mean, I don't want them to come here and knock on my door, but I mean, are the auto workers unions different than? And I guess what I'm looking for, are there any bad apples in the bunch and any good apples in the bunch that we can maybe brag about?
Again, we have to hold hold anybody who offers these types of benefits, and that includes unions, includes corporations who made these contracts with people. We need to make them accountable and stand up and hold them accountable and say, hey, you need to continue to provide these benefits that you offered. And if you can't, there is language that we have created that provides a system where you wouldn't have to. If you're financially going bankrupt or in such dire straits, there is an opt-out provision that would allow you to not provide those benefits. So we have taken very great steps to make sure that companies and unions are protected, but also retirees are protected.
The new Affordable Health Care Act does not include dental or optical or eyes, I should say. I know that most of the policies that were offered to the people we're talking about their policies did include eye care, health overall, as well as dental.
Yeah, to a degree.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the one thing that's missing from this whole debate is having both sides, including the White House, saying, hey, you know what, retirees, we want to take care of you, and here's how we can do it. We haven't heard that from them. We keep banging on everybody's door. We're asking people now to sit down. Now that the Supreme Court has decided that's the law of the land, you've all said that there needs to be changes to it. We need to strengthen it. We need to do this, and this. Well, let's all come to the table now and figure out ways that we can strengthen our healthcare system, so that we can also make it affordable and make it quality health care for everybody.
What is the definition of a senior, by the way? I just want to figure out if I'm one.
I would say anybody 55 years of old or older.
Hey, we're
there you
seniors.
go. Yay!
I didn't know I was in the boat, but I'm in the boat. This is about me we're talking about.
That's right.
We count anybody who's retired. So if you're younger than 55 and you retire, you can fit into our classification.
There's obviously strength in numbers, and so we want to make sure people know how to become one of those numbers if they're interested. Is it simply by going to the website?
Yep, it's just www.protectseniors.org. It's the same as our name, protectseniors.org. We're very creative that way. There's no cost to join the organization. It is, like you said, it hit the nail right on the head. It is strength in numbers. So anybody who is concerned about their health care, we have a lot of people who will say, well, nobody's going to take my health care away. Well, just wait till tomorrow. Wait till the next day. It's going to happen. So you better get on board. We'd love to have you. It's not going to cost you anything to join, and it's not going to cost you anything but maybe a few minutes a month to send a letter and participate in some, receive our newsletter and those good things.
Well, Paul, you're very well spoken. There's no question why ABC News and all the others invite you to talk about what you are a specialist in. You do a great job helping us understand it in just 25 minutes. I know way more than I did 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, me too.
Paul A. Miller, thank you so much for being on the air with us. Thank you for what you're doing on behalf of us. ProtectSeniors.org is the website. Anybody who wants that repeated, just call us. We'll be glad to do that. Robin also put it on the guest list on WOCA.com. Paul, thank you for being with us today.
No, thank you all for the opportunity, and keep up the good work.
And you too.
All right.
We will take a little break and be right back.